What's going on, guys? This is the Red Rogue, and today we'll be venturing back into the Tower of the Damned, Torghast. There have been a number of new event-type things added to Torghast, and today I'll be sharing one of them with you all, because the last thing I'd want to do is to keep you folks in the dark. However, this new event in Torghast might be a bit obscure to some. So let's talk about the Vial of Unbridled Darkness. Darkness puns aren't that easy, and I didn't want to resort to any shady tactics to squeeze a few into this video, even for being a rogue. Anyways, let's get into the meat of this video, Torghast, Tower of the Damned. I've done a couple videos on this topic in the past, so I'll just give you a brief recap of what Torghast is. Torghast is a new PvE, repeatable, and progressive dungeon crawler game system that can be done solo or in a party. This game system is randomly generated and offers special Anima Powers that a player can utilize during their Torghast run. These powers can also vary wildly between healing benefits, movement speed benefits, damage boosts, or even some really interesting and strange interactions like the one we'll be discussing today. It will also have a sort of challenge mode attached to it for numerous cosmetic rewards, though we don't have all of the information on that part just yet. This is also where you'll come to earn your Soul Ash for the week, which is a currency used when crafting legendaries at the Rune Carver. So back onto those Anima Powers that I mentioned. More specifically, the new events that Blizzard mentioned a few days ago. These are currently set on a daily rotation, and it will cause the first Anima cell that you come across to have some Anima Powers in it, but also a special Anima Power that you can select that will give you a different interaction than what we've seen so far in Torghast. The Vial of Unbridled Darkness is a special action button you will receive upon selecting this power. It's on a 90-second cooldown as of current testing, and upon usage of it, you will release darkness all around you for 15 seconds. This will, cause you to basically be unable to see anything for the duration of the buff. Yeah, I mean, literally your screen turns black except for your UI and the nameplates and whatever. While in this darkness, your damage and healing is increased by 75%, and your movement speed is increased by 30%. This is definitely probably the most unorthodox thing I've ever seen for a cooldown, I'm not gonna lie. On top of that, this special Anima event power thing has extra Anima Powers that you will find throughout your Torghast run that will further enhance it. I've come across a fair number of them already in my testing, so I'll give you folks a few examples of some of the ones that I found while trying this all out. Globule of Cloying Darkness. While under the effects of Unbridled Darkness, you have 20% increased mastery and 20% increased critical strike chance. Toller's Hidden Flask of Fortification. While under the effects of Unbridled Darkness, your maximum health is increased by 40%. And lastly, Writhing Shadow Tendrils. While under the effects of Unbridled Darkness, what a surprise, your attacks have a chance to cause a dark explosion and inflict shadow damage as well as blind enemies within 5 yards of your target for 6 seconds. There are many other powers that will improve this effect, and quite a few are group-oriented, such as Huddled Carvings. Your damage done is increased by 100% if you and an ally within 5 yards are both under the effects of Unbridled Darkness. I haven't done a Torghast run in a party yet, but this seems like it would be an extreme pain to line up correctly since 5 yards is not very far, and if you can't even see your party member, that's kind of an issue. Again, these are just some of the ones that I've come across in my own testing, as well as some of the ones that were data mined, so there are quite a lot more than just the ones I mention in this video. Okay, so I'm all for trying out new ideas and seeing what sticks and what doesn't. However, not being able to see for a minimum of 15 seconds at a time, sometimes even longer if you pick up the Anima Powers that increase the duration of this effect, is a bit off-putting and kinda weird. This move basically requires you to have some very good spatial awareness to be able to judge distance between packs of mobs in Torghast, and preferably not be a spaz like I am since I tend to run around and jump in circles when I fight things, which has already resulted in me getting stuck on random objects, or going in completely the wrong direction while using this ability. One thing I've already tested and found out already though, and I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, Demon Hunters can use Spectral Sight while this buff is active to be able to move around and basically do everything that they normally would with this huge damage and healing buff active. However, as soon as you attack an enemy or take damage, Spectral Sight will go away. However, as a kinda cheesy added bonus, Demon Hunters do have a conduit that makes their Spectral Sight last for a few seconds after they've either attacked or been attacked, which is pretty useful for this. If conduit rankings do make it into an upcoming build, this could result in having this huge buff up with virtually no repercussions, at least as a demon hunter. So there is the fact that you have to live with yourself for being a demon hunter. The amount of extra damage buffs you get from having the Unbridled Darkness effect active is pretty crazy, especially since you can pick it up literally as soon as you start your Torghast run from the first Anima Power cell. However, this may just be how they're testing this feature, so I can't say if this is exactly how or if this will work when things go live. More so, I was just making this to let you all know some of the new things that are cooking in beta that haven't really been mentioned outside of like a Wowhead article or a Blizzard Blue post that was discussing it. Honestly, I'm not really a fan of this one. Literally losing all of your sight as a cooldown is definitely a different and interesting thing, I guess. I never would have expected that as a mechanic outside of that one time in the Kil'jaeden encounter, but it just seems like a really obscure thing to work into an ability. I honestly like the dungeon crawling aspect of Torghast, and I kinda wanna see it and look at all the cool architecture that changes whenever I do it, and the badass enemies and the literal death traps that are strewn out through the layers of the dungeons. It does make you really consider how much you want to travel around with this massive damage buff active, but it honestly just slows down the pace of Torghast more than I would like it to. If anything, I feel like this effect should have some brief moments where you can see just to kinda get a sense of direction back for even just a fleeting moment, because trying to navigate off of just the map or mini-map is kinda odd. I mean, not that I don't sometimes run around normal zones or fly around with my map open, however, I already have a pretty good idea of where I'm going when I do stuff like that, and it isn't literally pitch black outside. So there you have it, folks, the first of several new Torghast events they brought out this week. What do you guys think so far? Let me know in the comments below if you want. As for me though, I could probably ignore this one and be fine without the huge damage bonus or whatever, as it just seems kinda odd to me, and it feels like I'm just stumbling around my basement with the light off trying to get to the bathroom, only to realize I ended up in a closet or something silly like that. Some serious Scooby-Doo vibes, I don't know. I hope you folks enjoyed the video, and if you're new around to my little corner of the YouTube algorithm, I'd like to welcome you to check out the rest of the channel. I do new uploads every weekday on a variety of WoW content, though I do set time for rogue-specific stuff. As always, I'd like to thank my regular viewers, subscribers, and especially my patrons, who all help make these Shiba Shenanigans possible. Thank you all so much for watching. This is the Red Rogue, and I'll see you guys around.